right now, I'm tired as shit, though. You know what I'm saying?
Hey man, you deserve to be tired after that game plan y'all put in last night. Oh my goodness. Oh my.
Wow.
Now,
Right.
before we get into it, man, I want to go back to something you told me last year. It was going to be easier than what it looked. So it's safe to ask now, what did you see that you knew you guys could exploit?
He basic, man. He basic. Remember, Spence and they were always saying, well, remember this last interview, Spence said, well, he's good at fundamentals. I'm fundamentally sound. You could break that shit apart, partner. And then after the first round, he was slow as shit. He's slow. He got that will and that determination, but if you keep going upside that nigga's head, man, please. He was slow. The counter, look at the counters. Counters was fast as shit, though. You know what I'm saying?
Now, what
he basic? He was basic.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Look, man, I ain't gonna call the man basic because I wasn't in there with him last night. Based on what I seen last night between Crawford and him, he just went on Crawford level. Can I ask you one more thing, man, about the ERROL SPENCE jab? How did y'all know that was gonna be one of the biggest keys to the fight? And how did y'all go about taking his jab away?
Hey, so listen. Look at all of his fights. He start off with a jab, and he hardly bring his feet with him when he goes to the body, right? So he got a good jab. He got a good double jab. Well, on his double jab, the fighter that he's fighting got to be somewhere placed at a certain place in the ring. You can't be still. Don't be still. You can't be still in the middle of the ring, and then once you get closer to the ropes, you got to move side to side or take a half a step back. Real simple. You heard me say it in the corner. Only time you throw that double jab to go into the body is when you're close to the ropes. Make sure you have some room to work. When you want some room to work, you take a half a step back and you start coming underneath and you start going side to side. You know what I'm saying? And then once Bud got his rhythm, it wasn't no more ropes no more. It wasn't no more ropes. If he did get to him, catch and counter. Real simple.
Y'all made it look simple last night. I can tell you that. But going into the fight, outside of his jab, was there anything else that you guys was worried about? Because a lot of folks thought Earl was the bigger, stronger man.
No. You know, I wouldn't give a damn if he was 200 pounds, but this is where he fucked up at. His legs is too far apart. So what he does is he brings his size down. He brings his height down. When you bring your height down, you start reaching at the fighter because your legs are too fucking far apart. You know what I'm saying? And then once you start stepping. If your feet is not fast as your hands, you always come up short. But his feet was slow, his movement was slow, and his hands were slow. So that just made it work perfect. If you see in the second round, going into the second round, I said this motherfucker's not fast as you. Any chance you get to try to counter over top, make it happen. He countered over top with the left hand, and he came back with his jab, a 2-1. That's when he dropped him. Simple. When he got up, he would have stopped him in the second round if he didn't have if that take a bell with a clap.
You think he would have stopped him in the second round, Bo?
Oh, fuck yeah! Look at him. Ooh. He was done. Go look at his balance, man. When he got up, man, he was done. Even though when the ref was like got him up and gave him his 8 count and the bell rung, he laughed. He still was shaky. If Bud would have had another minute, he would have stopped him. He would have fucking stopped him. I promise you that.
Can Can we put to bed the resume talk? Resume. He ain't fought nobody. Now, I'm not gonna lie. Last night looked like one of Bud's easiest fights at welterweight.
Easy. Like I said before, they fucked up and let us grow into the weight. When we dominated 140, and we were still at 140, so we had to move to 147. It wasn't nothing else left to do at 40, so we had to move up to 47. We didn't have to, but we did because we wanted to challenge ourselves. So when they kept running and kept making excuses, kept running and making excuses, come on this side of the street, you ain't did this, you ain't did that. He wasn't doing that, but growing as a man. You know what I'm saying? So when once he grew into that weight class, he could go 54. If they do the same fucking thing at 54, he's gonna end up doing the same fucking thing what he did at 47. I promise you that, man.
And by Crawford going into the weight class, how important was the strength and conditioning coach? I heard you gave them a shout out last night, the lady and the man. Can you just give another shout out to them real quick, guys? The way he, the way he developed into 147 is a thing of beauty, bro.
Chet, and Ashley. Listen, this is what we did. If you can hear what Bud said, I did something that I'm not used to. I did a pre-camp. The pre-camp, we came out to Vegas for a fucking month and worked with the UFC team. They showed where our strength was at, and they showed where our weakness was at. We took the program and took it into camp for 6 weeks. Then we came back for another 2 weeks with the UFC. At the whole time we was in camp for the 6 weeks, we working with them. Chet and Ashley work with the UFC day in and day out to see if he gets stronger and stronger and stronger. Of course, they're gonna add some of their stuff. You got to remember something. Chet been with us for over 10 years. Ashley was with us our last fight. You know what I'm saying? We end up having 3 strength trainers, but I let one go. It's nothing because he didn't do the work or anything, but we had, you know what I'm saying, we had too many guys and shit. Too many trainers there. You know what I'm saying? He didn't do nothing wrong. It was just, okay, I'm gonna push you to the side for a second. I'm gonna send you back home and just be ready. Be ready when the call comes. And I thank UFC for that, because UFC gave us different names to pick from to help us. But most of those guys was either busy with pre-season football, or they had other fights coming up. And so my guy, I'm not gonna say his name, but my guy was ready. He came in with the pre-camp and everything, and worked with us and worked with Terrence. Killed it. But then when it came down to we started getting down to the nitty gritty, I had to make a choice. I had to make a head coach choice. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Now, I'm gonna set you to the side for a minute. And I'm gonna still pay you, but I just need you to be on the sideline for a minute as assistant coach. Absolutely. You see what I'm saying? Just like Bernie the boxer, he's assistant coach.
Shout out Bernie too, man. Bernie been telling everybody, man, what Bud was gonna do. Shout out Bernie, man.
Yeah, Bernie the boxer, man. I've been knowing Bernie since he was 12.
Sure, man.
You know what I'm saying? I coached him all his pro fights. I've been his fucking coach, his amateur fights, all of that. You know what I'm saying? But you know, I'm not gonna take all the credit, because you got Midge, you had Larry Littlejohn, you had guys before me. You know what I'm saying? But they trained me, they taught me to get to this level. Now those guys don't have the accolades that other trainers got. You know what I'm saying? Because they're from the Midwest, they was in other stuff and this and that. But the everyday gym, every fucking day gym, Charlie, they was there. They was pushing me. They pushed me as a fighter, as an amateur fighter. And when it got professional, it kind of swindled down to like Carl, Midge, Larry. Then we got to get down to the nitty gritty. You know, when Bud was coming up, Mr. Little John passed away. So Midge would say to me, man, stay back and help me with these kids. Because they was kids. Bring the boxer, Bud, Red Spikes. They was kids. It was kids. Wow. Oh, knucklehead ass kids coming in the gym. You know how kids, you know how knucklehead boxers come in the gym and shit. You know the boxers that come in the gym halfway got their bag together and shit, leave some shit in the bag, leave some shit in the locker room and shit, playing around and shit. But when it's time to go,